Hello everyone, welcome to Res Snapper. My name's MJ and this is another Spotlight Cash Planning video where we look at the upcoming Spotlight weeks in Marvel Snap. I give it a star rating, so my overall review of how good I think the week is, and I also tell you what I personally am doing on that week. You can also download a Spotlight Cash Planning image. Download your favourite one. There is a fellow community member, EK August. He is the original, the OG, the GOAT. He makes an awesome Spotlight Cash Planning image. I also make one as well. I make one which has got some empty boxes, and it might be a bit more suitable if you like looking on a mobile device, for example. But just use which one you prefer. I'll put links to download all of them, or both of them, in the comments to this video, and in the description as well. Anyway, let's get on with it, guys. Without further ado, oh, massive shout out and thank you to Snap.fan as well, for all, and all the data miners actually, for all of the data mines that they do. Right, let's talk about this week. We're kind of closing out this week. I'm uploading this video towards the end of the Thaddeus Ross week. He's a 2/2. When your opponent ends a turn with unspent energy, draw a card with 10 or more power. I think collectively the community were pretty well aligned on this card, in that they generally speaking don't like him all that much. Don't think he's particularly good. Don't think he's particularly powerful. I think he's found some middling success in the Hela deck, most interestingly. And in Scars, just better cards to put in it. I mean, he does work fine in it, but I think there's just better stuff to put in it. By the way, I don't have him, as you can see on the screen here. This cross means I didn't open caches this week. But overall, I do think it's a fine week, 3.5. Blink, her first time in Spotlight caches, and Nebula is a good card, although of extreme note here, Nebula is dropping to Series 3. So sort of be extremely cautious if you are opening this week. Right, let's go on to the new stuff. Redwing week. Also, I bloody hell, I haven't updated my Spotlight Cash Planning image here. Redwing is a 3/4 now. He's a 3/4. The first time this moves, add a card from your hand to the old location. So he can't trigger to move himself, which definitely holds his card back a bit. I think he's quite middling, to be honest, as a card. He's alongside Baron Zemo. I think this is Baron Zemo's first time in Spotlight Caches since he came out as a Season Pass card. And Loki. Baron Zemo, probably the best card here. Good in mill. Enjoyable in mill, in fact. I actually just think generally, I think he's a slightly underplayed card. I do think we're coming down as, what, a 3/7 most of the time if you're pulling like a 2-power card from your opponent's deck. I think he's actually good. I think maybe he'll be good with something like the upcoming Strange Supreme, who we'll look at shortly. But overall, I'll give this week 3 stars, and as you can see, I'm not pulling this week. I've got Baron Zemo, I've got Loki, and I don't want Redwing that badly. But let's talk about a week where I am pulling. This is a Diamondback week, and shout out to my boy, Captain America Brave New World. I want to talk about this film slightly first, right? Okay, so minor spoiler. Diamondback is not in the film. I was gutted because I love the look of Diamondback and her vision and stuff, the pink hair. I think she's just extremely cool looking, and there was set photos which showed her. She was cast and stuff, and yeah, she didn't appear in the film, so I was gutted. So no more spoils, but I will say, guys, I absolutely love the film, to be honest. I am a biased Marvel fan, I freely admit it. I'm generally biased. I love all the MCU films. There's not many that I don't like. In fact, there's one that I outright actively dislike, and that's Thor Love and Thunder. But apart from that, even like the middling ones, like Thor The Dark World, I quite like it. Not the best, but I quite like it. But Brave New World, I really enjoyed it, guys. So if you're heading out to the cinema or theatre to see it, then I hope you enjoy it too. Anyway, sorry, that was a bit of a sidetrack there. There's Diamondback. She's a 3/3 ongoing. Enemy cards here afflicted with negative power have an additional -2 power. Is that right? She actually gives them an additional -2. That's crazy. So if you hazmat, they got -3 instead of -1. Is that actually right? Have I made a mistake there? Let me just check this, guys. I might edit all of this out. Yeah, it is -2 power. She's insane. Is she not incredible? She seems so good to me. And yeah, just an awesome ongoing card. I mean, imagine sticking it in one of the negative locations like Negative Zone and whatnot. I think she's awesome. Nimrod is definitely a good card. He's actually one of my favourite cards in the game. He is the only character that I have got 30 character mastery on. And I relatively enjoy Phoenix Force. Obviously, these couple go together very well in their own deck. Overall, though, I have to say the week is like 3, so kind of average. Like Nimrod and Phoenix Force, they've been in caches plenty of times, so I think most players have had the opportunity to get this card. So maybe not the best overall. But let's move on to the next season, which is Prehistoric Avengers, with the first week being Eson. You may note he changed from the original data mines that came out like last month. He's now a 6/9. After each turn, put a card from your hand that didn't start in your deck here. Listen, the old version was... let's not talk about the old version. The old version was incredible, but let's not talk about it. I quite like this new version, though, because there's some really interesting synergies. Like, well, there's one in particular. Nick Fury, I think, is a really potentially cool, interesting synergy. Especially if you use ramp. Like, let's just say, Electro on 3, Nick Fury on 4, Eson on 5, and then one of the other 6 drops on 6. That pulls all 3 of the 6 drops that Nick Fury created from your hand. That's pretty cool. I think that's quite cool. Imagine if one of them's Arnim Zola on the Eson. Gets out of hand kind of quickly. Although we do need to think about how many other cards add strong cards to your hand. I think maybe we might need something like add a 10 power, add a random 10 power card to your hand. Like, I know that's a location. Maybe that should be a new card upcoming, like a new shield card. Clay Quartermain, something like that. Some obscure shield character. Although Clay Quartermain is a sniper, I think. Is he? Oh no, am I getting confused? I think I'm getting confused with HeroClix. In HeroClix, they released a shield sniper, like lackey card, and then the limited edition of that was Clay Quartermain. That's probably why I think Clay Quartermain is a sniper. Anyway, I've spoken too much about this. Eson is alongside Beta Ray Bill and Wiccan. So Wiccan's first time in Spotlight caches since his debut. So that's really cool. I do have Wiccan, I do have Beta Ray Bill. Overall, I do think this is a really good week, though. I think I've given it 4 stars. No, I think I've given it 4. I have given it 4 stars. But I am using tokens this week to buy Eson. The next week is Starbrand. Starbrand is a 3/10. Sorry, I'm just trying to get rid of the text above. Starbrand is a 3/10. Ongoing, your opponent has +3 power at each other location, and he's alongside Scar and Fastos. I think Starbrand's very interesting. Seems like a very good card, especially with Zero. Think about Zero or Sauron, that kind of deck. Starbrand's going to now be one of the best cards in that deck, so that seems really good. Scar, good with Surtur. I know Surtur recently got nuked in the OTA, but Scar is still good. That deck is still good, and Scar is still obviously phenomenal in that deck. And Fastos I really like. In fact, I'm kind of working on a video at the moment which is going to feature one of my favourite decks. You guys were really positive to my recent gameplay deck where I did a shield sort of hand trap deck. Massive thank you to all of your positive feedback. That was really encouraging. So anyway, I'm going to do another one soon where I look at one of my other favourite decks, and it does have Fastos in. So I actually think this is a 4-star week. I think it's very good, but I'm not opening because I've got Fastos, I've got Scar, and Starbrand, I don't want him in light of what's coming in the future. We're going to move on to the What If season soon, and that is a jam-packed week for me, or sorry, month, a jam-packed month. But before then, we're getting Firehair. She's a 2/3. When one of your cards is destroyed, this uses that card's on reveal. Oh, bollocks in my arsehole, my camera's just frozen. Sorry about that. Yes, let me start again. She's a 2/3. When one of your cards is destroyed, this uses that card's on reveal. She seems bloody awesome. So, first of all, she is going to be an absolute tyrant in Mill. She's going to be ridiculous. She's probably going to push Mill over the edge, to be honest. And I should say, we will have a proper warning about this in a minute, but because these are data mined cards, they might be subject to change. All of these cards changed in the recent patch. They changed from their initial versions, so these aren't set in stone. I think these are more reliable than the What If cards that we'll get to, so we just need to bear that in mind. But yeah, she seems so good to me. I absolutely love the design of her. And also, just outside of Mill, I think she's going to be really interesting. Just like venoming off an Ironheart or whatever. I think it's like kind of a bad example, because Venom will take the power of Ironheart, who's a 0. But yeah, anyway, you know what I mean. She's alongside Cassandra Nova, fantastic card. First time in Spotlight Caches since she was available in Deadpool's Diner, right? Yeah. And Nico Minoru, one of the best 1-drops in the game. So this is a 5-star week. Honestly, there is not much holding me back from this being a 6-star week. This is incredible. But because I've got Nico and Cassandra, and I'm happy with the variants that I've got for both of them, this is a token week for me. So I'm going to buy Firehair with tokens. Moving on to... God, is this even going to fit on the screen? Not quite. Bloody hell. This is the Khonshu week. I'll move down in a minute. Let me talk about him a little bit. He's a 6/5. When discarded, returns in its next phase. On reveal, resurrect a card you discarded to another location with its power set to 5. So just bear in mind, the base Khonshu is a 6/5. Now I'm going to move slightly, and his power is going to be slightly obscured here. There we go. So, when Khonshu is discarded for the first time, he returns to your hand as a 6/7 with a similar power, but then when you discard him again, he returns to your hand as a 6/12. And the 6/12's ability is, on reveal, resurrect a card you discarded to another location with its power set to 12. So let's think about this, and also let me just fractionally adjust my camera at the same time, okay? So you have to discard Khonshu twice in order to unlock the biggest version of him, and that is a 6/12 that you would then need to play down. Or you discard it again and you hella. So basically you sift once, maybe you sift again with Grandmaster. That's going to be really good and really achievable. You're not in any danger of discarding Grandmaster. That's going to be outrageous. If you can then, let's think about Iron Man. Again, another card that's easy to discard. You could Silver Surfer on Iron Man. If you Khonshu, you get the 12 power in Khonshu's location, and Khonshu then revives a copy of a card you've discarded. That could be Iron Man. So not only have you got the 12 power in one location, you've then got the 24 power from Iron Man in the other location, and that's ignoring everything else you've done for the rest of the game. It seems like such a cool card. And he's alongside Scorn and Corvus Glaive. So this is like a big discard week. I absolutely love this Corvus Glaive variant. I think it's really good. I've already got the best Scorn variant in the game though, so I'm not too concerned about that one. But I'm opening this week. I'm opening keys. I think Khonshu's incredible, and I'd really like this Corvus variant. I would potentially even consider rolling until I get the Corvus variant and Khonshu. Right, moving on to What If, and here's my little warning here. These are leaks. In the Prehistoric Avengers season, every single card changed from the previous month's leaks. So if the same thing happens, all of these cards will change. But they might not change too much. A lot of those cards from the Prehistoric Avengers season, they didn't change massively. The kind of core of the idea was there. So I think it's still worth talking about these and still valid. Also, I definitely should have said this at the start of the video. Please subscribe. We're on the road to 100,000 subscribers. We're 97,000 subscribers off. I don't know how often I'm going to make that joke. I'm never going to hit 100,000 subscribers. But I'm not even going, oh, I'll say that, and then people will say, no, you can do it. I won't, okay, and it's fine. But I would love some more subscribers, so yeah, please do. Alright, let's talk about this week. It's Goliath. He's a 2/1 ongoing, +1 power for each other ongoing you have in play. I love him. Absolutely adore him. I adore the artwork. I adore the idea of it. And very interesting because in a lot of decks, it's like ongoing decks, when you want an ongoing card at 2 cost, your options are fairly limited. You have like Dazzler, so you're like, okay, I kind of need to veer my deck towards being able to fill all the locations. Or you have Ravonna, which is great if you've got cards like Iron Man and Mystique, but again, it's another consideration. Like, okay, that skews my deck building into needing to focus a bit more on lower cost, on lower powered cards. This is a very one size fits all, even though he is literally a giant and he grows in power. Like, it just fits in anything. It's just power. It's just raw power. The The only thing you need to think about is that you've got enough ongoing cards. So I think he's just awesome. Great utility card. He's alongside Cersei, who I don't have. So this is a 2 new card week for me. And this awesome Gwenpool variant, this is Gwenpool's first appearance outside of her season pass week. So this, honestly, I think I'm being light-handed giving this 4.5. This could honestly borderline be a 6-star week. It's 6-star for me. Very, very strong week. So I am opening caches that week. The next week, the following week after, is Kahori week. She's a 4/6. On reveal, for each card in your hand, give a friendly card +1 power. I think she's really cool. I think she's very, very interesting. Obviously, you want enough cards in your hand for her to be worth it. But I think generally speaking, in the average deck, by this stage in the game, hopefully you have 3, 4 or 5 cards in your deck. I think those are pretty reliable numbers. And so she's coming down and she's putting, 3, 4 or 5 power? Let's say 4. 4 power on the rest of the board. She's a 4/10. Now think about, she's alongside Cull Obsidian. Cull Obsidian has the requirement that you have to have a 1 cost card in play to even be able to play him in order to get that power. And Cull Obsidian is a fine card. So I think at worst, Kahori is very good. Wide board presence. Very solid. But at best, if you play into her strengths, she can be really, really powerful. So I'm really excited for her. Also, I love the character in What If. She's so much fun and so powerful. So, yeah, I really like this version of her. I also completely wouldn't be surprised if she changes. I think she's a bit boring. Whereas I think her appearance in the show is a bit more interesting than this. So wouldn't be surprised if she changes. She's alongside Hydra Bob. Really good one-drop card. And Cull Obsidian, this Cull Obsidian variant is so good. I love it. So I'm opening, I don't even care what they change Kahori's ability to. I'm opening this week. And I'll go one step further. I'm opening until I get this Cull Obsidian variant. So if I got Kahori in 1, I'd actually be kind of gutted. Because I'd be like, well, I've got to keep going because I want that Cull Obsidian. Right, moving on. Again, this isn't going to fit on the screen, is it? Nope. This is Infinity Ultron. In fact, this is almost worth... Sorry, this is admin. This is worth making a bit smaller so you can see it all. I hope you don't have bloody motion sickness. Infinity Ultron is a 5/6. On reveal, add 2 Ultron Infinity Stones to your hand. The Ultron Infinity Stones are... The Space Stone is a 3/4. On reveal, move the lowest power enemy card here to Infinity Ultron's location, I think. Anyway, there's like some weird coding text on that, so I'm just guessing what that part is. The Reality Stone is a 3/1. On reveal, add an Infinity Ultron drone to this location. Set its power to Infinity Ultrons. The Time Stone is a 3/1. On reveal, put a card from your hand here. The Mind Stone is an ongoing. Your on-reveal abilities here happen twice. Wong. And the Power Stone is a 3/2. On reveal, double Infinity Ultron's power. And the Soul Stone is a 3/3. On reveal, for each full location you have, give a friendly card there, +2 power. So I think that's basically just +2 to each of your full locations. So... This card, I honestly thought about doing like a separate video to actually discuss this card, but it's probably not worthwhile until we have the proper official announcement of his abilities. But it's just a crazy card. There's so much to consider with this one. Because you're getting 2 of the stones, you either play it in a magic deck with Wong and you get more, or you just consider what kind of combos are available. Like the fact that the Mind Stone is a mini Wong with whatever other stone you pull, that ability is being able to be triggered twice, but that's all you're doing on the final turn because that equates to 6 energy. So it's extremely interesting. You can do things like Mind Stone to double the Power Stone, meaning Infinity Ultron's power is quadrupling, so that becomes 24 just as a base. You've also got the ability to add some sort of drone token to a location and set its power to Ultron. So that's then a couple of the stones are then rewarding you if you're increasing his power. If you're increasing his power another way with Fastos, Forge, whatever it may be. So that's really interesting. There's like some move disruption. That's probably one of the less useful ones. Putting a card from your hand here, again, probably less useful, but imagine if that's one of the stones. Absolutely wild card. He's alongside Cannonball and Pixie. Pixie, fine. Cannonball, great. So overall, I give this week 4 stars. I think it's definitely a very good week, a very interesting week. It completely depends how much Ultron changes. I'm not sure if he will change that much, because it's such a complicated card and such an interesting card. So at the moment, I don't know what I'm doing this week. Likely tokens. The slight complication here is that I don't like the base artwork. Generally speaking, I like the base artwork of all cards. I don't like the base artwork of this card. The colours aren't strong enough and the position looks very awkward. So I prefer the variant. I mean, I need the card. Let's be very clear. I need the card. So whatever happens, I'm getting it. I just don't know how yet. Moving on to... I can't stop the stones from being in the picture here, so sorry. But anyway, this is the Strange Supreme week. Strange Supreme is a 2/0. Oh god, I didn't update his text. So I have on your screen, but I haven't on mine. Give this +2 power whenever it merges. After each turn, merge one of your cards that didn't start in your deck into this. This is incredible. I love this card. So I've got a deck which is called Space Savers, which is basically all about sort of like filling up locations with cards that generate immeasurable value, like Shanna and Baron Zemo. But then cards that merge as well. So you are generating loads of value, but then making sure that you've still got room to play more stuff. And he's made for that deck. He's also fantastic with Infinity Stones, with Arishem, with Shield. Absolutely love him. Absolutely love him. Yeah, 100% getting him. And I don't have Speed, who he's alongside. And he's also alongside US Agent. But for me, this is a 2 new card week. But the reason I've given it 6 stars is because Strange Supreme seems incredible. Speed is excellent, and a lot of people missed out on him as well because he seemed kind of boring at the time. And US Agent is also very solid. So overall, fantastic week. I will be opening caches this week. Amazing. And hilariously, I also didn't update the text on the last one as well. So it seems when I created this image, I just didn't update the text, which is good. So now I'm having to look it up and waste your time. Hydra Stomper is a 3/1. Ongoing +1 power for each card you moved this game. So it's kind of like a Morbius or a Devil Dinosaur or Collector type card, but for move decks, which is very, very interesting. I think he has potential to be quite big. But he does cost 3, so not sure about that. Magneto can give him a huge boost because Magneto can move multiple cards, as can Heimdall. Like Heimdall can move what, like 8, 12, 11 cards? No, that's not possible. 8. Heimdall can move 8 cards. That could be really interesting. Giving Hydra Stomper a +8 on the final turn. That you wouldn't even need to play that in a move deck. You could just have Heimdall and that'd be outrageous. Because it becomes a 3/9 straight away if you've moved nothing else. But yeah, so I think it's very an interesting card. He's alongside Aranya and Madam Web. So this is a move week. I've given the week overall 3.5. It's very specific. I think the cards are cool. Aranya's been killed a little bit, and they're all quite niche. So that's why it's not a higher score. But because of everything else, because I'm rolling in quite a lot of the what if weeks, I currently can't justify this week, so I'm not rolling this week. This might change. I do really like Hydra Stomper. So because we're a couple of weeks away from this point, I might see how my resources look at that time. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. As I said, download whichever your favourite Spotlight Cash Planner is in the comments in the description, and let me know what you're doing in the comments because I'd like to chat with you as well. I'll see you next time. Cheers.